Welcome back. We've been playing PlayStation all year. Come on, man. Keep up. Breath 3 continues. I always really liked the 16-bit Capcom logo. That was always quite nice. Like, the logo itself has been the same since at least the NES, but the presentation of it's been different. Yeah, the jingle was always nice. They went through a bunch of different ones in the PlayStation era, it felt like. Hey, Clem. Get the look. Yeah, they went through a bunch in the PlayStation era, it felt like. Possibly. I don't know. I know the logos themselves in DMC5 are silent. And there's no actual noise until it does the whole logging in thing. And then it's just the Devil May Cry menu sound. Post game FF2, FF12. Fair enough. Well, he's jumping back in, so he hasn't survived yet. Alright, so we were in a mansion. We're supposed to be stealing something from this mansion. Bane said this is a good place to grind. Or it's a grindy place. This bed is free. Sound right, Flame. Bane's got some bad takes, but like, he knows RPGs and he appreciates good RPGs. And Breath of Fire is more his thing than mine. So, after last session, I looked into, like, what Examine actually is. Well, here, Examine. Examining gives you a chance of learning a skill from an enemy. It is enemy skill in what feels like the worst way. Motherfucker. It's enemy skill in what feels like the worst way. There's a chance of learning an enemy's skill when you examine them. Yeah, it seems that way. From what I read, it's never really essential. So I'm gonna really just treat this like FF7, where I don't do enemy skills because it's like kind of a waste. Yeah, there's a benefit to it, but like the time sink required for it is just not something I want to commit to. Ah, sweet. Defeat a powerful enemy. 12 experience. A stern face. A young man. A bold-looking middle-aged man. That's right. Soul Reaver collection. And a collection. I'm glad. I'm generally just glad about both of them. I hope they're both decent. I expect the Soul Reaver collection to be fine, at the very least. Because it looks like they're doing the same idea as what happened with the Tomb Raider collection. So I imagine it'll probably just end up being the same as that. Though Soul Reaver 2 being a PS2 game means we're stepping that up a little bit in the remaster efforts. I feel like it's harder to remaster or just port over a PS2 game in any capacity than it is a PS1 game. The Luna games being the PS1 versions is really nice, and it does solve a problem I was complaining about during the Silver Star Story playthrough. Of it's a good game and it's just not available, and like now it is. Great, fantastic. I'm very happy about that. Blood Omen, yeah, I'll agree with Blood Omen. I understand why they didn't, and my hope would be following Soul Reaver, like maybe we'll get a follow-up collection that'll have Blood Omen and be like, oh yeah, the prequel to Soul Reaver and Blood Omen 2 and Defiance, like, complete the series. I'd be hopeful of that. But how long that would take to actually happen, I don't know. Blood Omen Remaster would be nice. No, I imagine Dead Sun will never come back. It was never a game that looked like it was going to particularly appeal to Legacy of Kain fans. It seemed more like, at best, an idea that was rolled up, like a standalone idea that was rolled up into the Legacy of Kain series, like Soul Reaver was. But like, that's not the point. Ultimately, I feel like what Dead Sun was going for ended up being done in Shadow of Mordor. Oh, Dark Prophecy. This is a question you bring up often enough, Flame. I don't think I would want it at this point. Like, it would be a very hard sell to get me interested in another Legacy of Kain game. Like, you'd need to bring Amy Hennig back as the writer and, if not director, then like supervising consultant or something. Tony J being gone is immediately a turn-off to me for the project. I imagine Michael Bell and Simon Templeman would be down to do it. If nothing else, it's a paycheck. Voice actors, they won't work. I don't know if Michael Bell's even still in the business. That was the wrong button. I don't think that would be as important. Because ultimately, his character, like, not going to spoil who his character is for anybody who hasn't played it. His character, that plot thread is ultimately dealt with in Blood Omen 2. Is how I always felt about it. Like, the way Defiance ends, I always felt like the Hilden part of that plot was just like, oh yeah, no, we know where this ends. It ends in Blood Omen 2. Like, I was always fine with that. I really should do Soul Reaver at some point. Did they give a release date for the remasters? I would not mind, like, just waiting for the Soul Reaver 1 remaster to come out before I play it. The stream. Because I remember, I think the Lunar Collection, they said next year. December 10th. If they actually stream more often, I could easily get through Soul Reaver 1 by then. Not gonna lie, I've kind of debated it. Like, if we can get through Breath of Fire 3 quick enough before October ends, I've debated being like, yeah, here's Nightmare Creatures, also surprise Soul Reaver for Halloween. Legacy of Kain's always been one of those series that's been like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this at some point. It's not something that's ever really gonna leave my mind. And especially having gotten through Blood Omen, like, Blood Omen's a bit of a hurdle. Not gonna lie. Now we just have the bigger hurdle of getting through Soul Reaver. Not that Soul Reaver's difficult, not that Blood Omen was even particularly difficult. Just kind of archaic, and Soul Reaver is going to be a lot of wandering around and staring at late 90s IDOS Crystal Dynamics 3D puzzles. After that, though, like, Soul Reaver 2 is so much more straightforward. Blood Omen 2, I really enjoy. Blood Omen 2 is arguably my favourite. For a bunch of reasons, but even without that, it is also very straightforward. And Defiance is probably going to be the dullest, but it's not a game you'll ever really get stuck on. It's a bold choice for them to do these battles just straight out on the field like this, and I feel like, while I respect the decision to do it, it was absolutely a mistake. Because so much of the time you can't see either your party or the enemies. Yeah, I'm surprised Michael Bell hasn't retired. The dude was old when he recorded Soul Reaver. Yeah, not too bad, Panda. How are you doing? Getting no money from these roaches. There's also going to be a lot of grinding to get to the next level, so let's try and go through the second floor. E6, yeah. So yeah, he was old then, like would have been in his 50s, I guess. 25 years ago. Would have been in his 60s. When it came out. And every now and then I get a desire to just be like, yeah, let's stop the year of PlayStation and just play these games I want to play. Going through the rest of the Legacy of Kain games is one of those. '3D environments were definitely a mistake for this game. But yeah, I look forward to getting to next year. It's not even that the year of PlayStation has been bad, because it's not. It's been an enjoyable idea, and I've quite enjoyed doing it. Really should have streamed more to make the most of it, but you know, what we've had's been pretty good. But there is a lot of stuff I want to get to next. God damn it. Like the Castlevania day. That's right. Like the tentative plans for the rest of this year is like Breath of Fire 3. I want to do Pepsi Man at some point. Star has been jokingly talking about me doing that for years. I was like, you know what, I do want to do Pepsi Man. Nightmare Creatures is like the official Halloween game of this year. The Christmas Eve stream. Which I'm working on making sure I get Christmas Eve off. Apparently, like, a lot of the managers at my place where I work are like, they'd rather get New Year's Eve off, which is like, yeah, sure, fine. I'll take Christmas Eve off then. Then we can do the Christmas Eve stream. Followed by, like, maybe a Christmas Eve movie night. That's a taser. What the hell is a taser? Is that a weapon? Tell me it's a weapon. Oh, okay. Yeah, those old BioWare games with their recurring voice cast. Plutonia and Ultraviolence, nice. I'll tell you one thing I would like to do this year, is like PlayStation Doom. I would like to do like a full run of PlayStation Doom. It should be on Ultraviolence, but whether or not I'll still be capable of doing that is a question. It's been a while since I've sat down and gone through all of classic Doom on Ultraviolence. Once this year's up as well, I really should see about getting my capture card set up again. They got the PS5 set up. Like, there's a bunch of stuff we can do on there. Because Doom is kind of like 2016, Doom 2016, it's just kind of a dick about audio on PC. Like, I may have to just do the PS4 version. Nothing to worry about. Well, PlayStation Doom controls really well. Like, it really does. And by that, I mean, all you have to do is, like, strafe is L1, R1, which is fine. If Dark Forces PS1 had been that, it would be great. Well, Doom 1's not really the scary thing. Although PlayStation Doom makes it scarier by putting Doom 2 monsters in. As is, one of the quotes you have. Type in exclamation mark, quote, space 43. Yes. Come. It was a good time. Good days. That was like 4.5 years ago. I wonder if PlayStation Doom makes use of pain elementals, though, in the Doom 1 levels to replace the hand-placed Lost Souls. But yeah, a bunch of stuff to do next year. Possibly finally do a full playthrough of Doom 2016 on stream. That motherfucker. Jump being random damage is just kind of bullshit. Oh, sweet. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, PlayStation Doom doesn't actually have Ultimate, does it? Like, it's Doom and Doom 2 with no Ultimate Doom. So Thy Flesh Consumed won't be represented in it. Right? Because, like, let's be fair, Thy Flesh Consumed is just generally not fun. Fucking American McGee, man. It's like, hey, first level of the new episode for the re-release of Doom. Perfect Hatred. No. No, let's not do that. Very nice. Oh boy. What's worse than Perfect Hatred? I can't see a fucking thing over here. Worse or better? Oh, that was interesting. Is indeed included. Fair enough. I mean, it explains how they get the level count up to like 60. Seriously? That makes no sense. I mean, let's be fair, Slough of Despair isn't exactly a standout level to begin with. Well, I wasn't expecting to see the shrubs from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Here we are. Inferno was always the most lackluster episode. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Knee Deep in the Dead is the best part of Doom 1. And it's entirely because it was what they used to sell Doom 1. Like, it being the shareware episode, it's like, oh yeah, you've got to put the best in there, because that was the free part. The demo always has to be one of the best parts of the game to get people to play the rest of the game. But, you know, Inferno's just generally not fun. Inferno is the island of, it's the island from OGRE4 of Doom. Sort of. Yep, physical is just better for this. Need to use spells, just hit the damn thing. Oh, very good. Oh. That was less trouble than I expected. Well, like the Suns. I'm gonna recognize, like, nothing of PlayStation Doom. He's gonna be the weakest of them, isn't he? Always how it goes. Well, back to bed. You know, I still haven't played the DLC of Doom Eternal. Even more than that, I still haven't actually purchased the DLC of Doom Eternal on anything. I mean, to be fair, I only actually own Doom Eternal on PC. I never bought it on Xbox, I played it on Game Pass. Oh wait, no, I own it on Switch as well. Good version. Not made to have pain elementals. Are we talking about the possibility of an engine overload with too many lost souls? Close. Outside the level boundaries. Oof. Nasty. I like the Switch versions of Doom and Doom 2. Like, they're bold, ambitious ports that work a lot better than you'd think. When I said Doom and Doom 2, I meant Doom and Doom Eternal. Yeah, how you doing, Henry? No, we streamed Symphony of the Night in August. Now we're back to RPGs. How the hell do I even get there? Block. Yeah, Breath of Fire 3 has been pretty interesting so far. They really should have just had, like, dedicated battlefields with, like, screen transitions. But yeah, no, I've not even bought the Doom Eternal DLC. You know, after finishing Doom Eternal, I felt like I was kind of done with it. Alright, we'll be here when you get back, Glenn. How you doing, Hammer? Oh, money. Give you more loading times. It would. But that was just generally something you dealt with back in the day anyway. Oh, hey, it's Teak. And he brought Ninja. How you doing, Ninja? Wanna play games we have no time? Yeah, I feel that. I've been doing a bunch of light gaming on my handheld emulator. That's been quite nice. That's about the most of it, though. Could be better, could be worse. It's fine. If you're hoping for Kudelka at some point this year, Henry, I'm gonna disappoint you. We already did Kudelka a couple of years ago. I have several. I have quite a few. What do I got? There's my Miyu Mini Plus, my Ambernick RG405M, Retro Pocket 3 Plus, my Ambernick RG280V, my RG35XXFP. The main one I use is my Odin 2 Pro, which is quite nice. Kind of about the size of a Switch Lite. This is the beefy one. It's a hobby I've been following for several years now. And like as time's gone by, I've gotten more, upgraded them. 3DS is an interesting one to look at. 3DS emulation is not perfect, and that's largely more about the actual emulator program than the system. Citra didn't get all the way. Even a Steam Deck will not emulate all of 3DS perfectly. I think it depends on what you're after. Like, you want the 3DS system, but like, do you want more portability? Because I have a Steam Deck, and I like my Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is also huge. I think Flame said he got an R36S. But yeah, I've been testing out Switch emulation on my Odin 2 Pro. Making my way through the Switch version of Arkham Asylum. And it's got some graphical glitches. But it's playable, and I've been quite enjoying it. Did the Bane boss fight. Yeah, Citra on PC, if you've got it, will work about well enough. Still not perfect. So what emulator really is. Depending on what fork you end up with on stuff. I mean, like, especially if you're talking portable, the best thing to play 3DS on is still a 3DS. Would love if they would do a remaster of some of the DS exclusive SMT games. Maybe that way I'd actually play through 4 Apocalypse. Fucking. As far as DS emulation goes, like, you can get a bunch of stuff. The R36S, I'm pretty sure you can... It runs on Linux. I feel like it has Arc OS as a possibility, which I have on my RG353M. There's a port of Drastic for it, which is an Android-made... Yeah, like you run DS on it. It was an Android-made DS emulator, which even now is probably still the best DS emulator. Oh yeah, I've seen the reviews and the details about the R36S. If I didn't have a bunch already by the time it came out, I probably would have considered. I'm not super fond of the vertical handheld. Not super fond of the vertical handheld design. I have my Miyu Mini Plus, which is Really all I'm doing with vertical. Vertical is just not as comfortable as horizontal. And then the R36S having analog sticks as well. It's like you got stuff like the RG406V came out recently. It's got this really nice 4-inch display. I love a 4-inch display on these handhelds. And it's like a big chunky boy. And it's got an analog stick on it. It's like that analog stick is never going to be comfortable or practical. If you can get it where you live, the Miyu Mini is a good one to go for. The Miyu Mini Plus. If you can get it where you live, generally quite a cheap handheld, easy to pick up. It's got a nice little design. It can do DS. It's easy to flash it with a piece of custom firmware called Onion OS, which is very nice. Actually, like, you're looking about 4 hours. With a easily replaceable battery. Like, if you can see on the back there, you got the clip, you can unclip it and pull the battery out, and very easy to replace. Which itself is a big bonus that a lot of these systems don't give you. My favourite thing about it, the game switcher. Like, you can go through a list of, like, the last few games you've played. Mario World, and just jump straight back into them. The OS is super nice. Like I say, if you can get it where you are for a reasonable price, absolutely recommend. And because the systems it's going to play, always. You should have been on the days. You should have been here in the days where I was like, you know what? I don't feel like streaming anything today. Let's do another Metroid Fusion run. But yeah, like, you're not gonna play anything that uses an analog stick, really, on the Miyu Mini Plus, so you won't miss the lack of it. About the only thing you'll miss will be Tekken 3. Oh, fucking Tekken 3. Ape Escape on PlayStation. Well, as far as PS1 games go, like I said, the only thing you miss out on is Ape Escape. It's the only game that requires analog sticks. Everything else, while some games may play better with an analog stick, all playable with a D-pad. We've got the Castlevania music button. I sometimes accidentally press when I go to mute myself. As far as Castlevania goes, you will be able to play almost every Castlevania worth playing on there. You should be able to do DS as well, like, with a couple of ROM hacks. Ah, nice, dude. With a couple of ROM hacks, you'll be able to play Dawn of Sorrow. Won't have to worry about the lack of a touch screen. Because there's ROM hacks that deal with that. And then Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesia, to play the main game, you do not need the touchscreen at all, so you do those. You'd be missing out on Castlevania 64, Legacy of Darkness, Lament of Innocence, Dracula X Chronicles, Curse of Darkness, Legacy of Darkness. I've not seen Portrait of Dawn, but I do have Rondo of Ruin. Neil doesn't have much money. If you're interested in Castlevania, though, Henry, stick around, because next year we will be having a dedicated day for Castlevania games. We'll be going through like most of the series in whatever order I feel like. Best enemy in the whole series. Could it be the werewolf that feels like a boss that spawns out of nowhere in the first level? Or isn't? Could it be Death with his weird design that includes wings? Is it perhaps the witch actress? Alphabetical. Ah yes, first up in our list will be Castlevania. This fucking chair hissing. Fucking Christ. How you doing, Teague? The fun thing about that, Teague, and I've mentioned this before, in Europe there are 4 games named Castlevania. Humble Enemy in the Castle Hall. Honestly, I was just building up to the motorcycle skeletons. I thought that was going to be the actual answer. Nothing. Here's the answer. Fair enough. Ah, the Skelly Boys. Which is in fact what we refer to as a lot of the skeletons here in mecha-chrono stream. Yeah. It's been, what, like 4.5 years since we did the Castlevania Marathon. That was a good time. What's my health like? I don't know, I feel like in 2D they just don't work as well. Plus 2D Castlevania has its own like weird ideas of what's good and what isn't, as far as enemy designs go. Like Persephone with her vacuum cleaner. There's an enemy in something 2D that rolls around on a bike. Chainsaw Maniacs. Ugh. There's a lot of enemies in Ecclesia I do not like. There's a lot of enemies in Ecclesia that whoop your ass like there's no tomorrow. Back to the bed. But yeah, dedicated day for Castlevanias next year. And like I say, it's going to be at least most of them. It has its moments. Like, every now and then, it'll just start fucking sinking. And I don't know the exact thing I do to get it to stop. It's like the lever's held up slightly and I don't know how to deal with it. And then it'll be fine again for, like, weeks or months. Come on, damn. Yeah, like, what are we looking at? Simon's Quest is off the table. I don't want to stream Simon's Quest. Mostly because it's boring. It's like, hey, you know what Simon's Quest is going to be? Mostly grinding. It's like 95% of the game. Really boring. The adventure's a possibility. Maybe throw the speed hack on that. The adventure rebirth is a definite. Haunted Castle can fuck off. Like, absolutely not doing Haunted Castle. Oh no, Haunted Castle is possible, it's just not fun. And with it being available on, like, on hardware you don't have to pay for. It's like, cool, I can effectively do free play now, so that's fine. Still not fun. No interest in touching Haunted Castle Revisited on the Dominus Collection. That said, actually, speaking of the games that were included in the collection, Dracula X, actually kind of down to do Dracula X. Like, yes, it's bullshit, but like, there's ways to cheese that final boss. And I really enjoy Dracula X's soundtrack. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff to do. Hopefully that'll take us through the full year. But if it doesn't, there's other stuff we can do. What are we looking at? Like the Castlevania games we haven't streamed so far? I don't think I've actually streamed 64. Like, we streamed Legacy of Darkness. Oh, we've done Bloodstained. Done Bloodstained. That was a good playthrough, I enjoyed that. That was actually the second time I played the game, because I played it at launch, and then didn't play it again until the stream. Which was nice, because they'd fixed a lot of the technical issues by that point. Bloodstained's mostly a really good game. But, like, there were issues on that game at launch. Element of Innocence, I don't dislike either. Like, if you're coming here expecting an opinion of, like, the common opinion of 3D Castlevania being like, oh, it's awful, it's like, I think they're both less interesting than the 64 games. Element of Innocence is absolutely fine. It's a little dull at worst. Oh yeah, I wanted to check what the gems were. Okay. Like, Element of Innocence is a little dull. It's mostly just, running through repetitive corridors. The combat's fine. Like, his biggest problem is just that it's repetitive. Other than that, it looks good. The voice acting is decent. It sounds really good. I wish there was more to the story, given that it's the origin of the Belmont clan and their feud with Dracula. But it's fine. Probably best taken in short bursts. Because it is quite repetitive. Curse of Darkness is an interesting one. Like, I feel like it ends up feeling a little too dragged out, and that's largely just because it's in 3D. Like, it's the problem, and it's something that I noticed, I think, first when I started doing Ocarina of Time randomizers after playing Link to the Past randomizers. Like, travel in 3D takes so much longer. Getting around is so much slower. And that's the biggest problem in Curse of Darkness. It takes so long to just get around. Whereas in the 2D Metro, because it's the Metroidvania idea in 3D. And I respect that. And it's slower because it's 3D, whereas in the 2D games, it's generally a lot faster. The Innocent Devil system is pretty neat. The story is kind of interesting. I like the Trevor design. I like that we got an Ayami Kojima Trevor design. The dodge was a little bit fast. That's the same as doing like the backdash in Symphony of the Night. They were like just constantly sidestepping in Ocarina of Time. It's not intended. Yeah. I like that we got a Ayami Kojima design for Trevor. I really like that design. When I saw that they're doing Castlevania DLC for Dead by Daylight, I was quite happy that they're bringing that design back. Good design. I like that both of them have the alternate modes that started with Symphony of the Night, where you beat the game, you can play as another character. Like in Lament of Innocence, you can play as Joaquin, and in Curse of Darkness, you can play as Trevor. Like, I like that as a cool idea. Like, ultimately, they're both fine games. Like, they're decent enough, and there's absolutely worse that you can find within the series and on PS2, generally. Lord Shadow is less interesting. Like, honestly, one of the biggest problems with Lord of Shadow is generally less interesting. The most engaging Lord of Shadow gets is when you're in the vampire castle. I think when you're actually, like, scaling the castle, going through it, it's most interesting when it feels like it could be a Castlevania idea. Outside of that, the environments tend to be pretty dull, the monsters tend to be kind of uninteresting. And the combat is a very standard clone of God of War, you are right. Lord of Shadow 2 is better, I think. It's kind of funny, because Lord of Shadow 1 reviewed better than 2. I think 2 is a better game. I think it's more enjoyable, it has more Castlevania spirit in it. The combat feels better. And gets a little closer to, like, a better idea of a 3D Castlevania game. I think, overall, I like both of the Lords of Shadow games. I like 2 more. With the first one, most of it is the vampire castle. I really like climbing through the castle. And I've said before, of like who'd have thought the best part of the Castlevania game would be when you're in the castle. Yeah, I don't hate him. As far as like any of the 3D Castlevania games goes, I think Castlevania 64 and Legacy of Darkness are the most interesting in terms of design. Like, they're both rough. I mean, even Legacy of Darkness less so than 64, but they're both really interesting in their designs, and they're a lot more, I feel like, a lot truer to the idea of bringing Castlevania into 3D. than the other games are. Like, they're still trying to be Castlevania in terms of, like, the idea of what the game is. And I really like it. And the soundtracks for them are both really good. But yeah, it's not like playing with Mega. It's not like playing with Mega Man, where Clem's like, yeah, I like all of them except 9, which I hate, or Mega Man X7, which is just generally bad. It's like, no, I do kind of like almost all of them. Like Haunted Castle is just, it's an arcade game made to steal quarters. You're absolutely right with that. Simon's Quest is boring, but in its design is kind of interesting. Welcome back, Flame. And like even Dracula X, as rough as that is, as nonsense as its difficulty curve is, has a lot of positive qualities. Like I said, I love the soundtrack of Dracula X. Reached map 5 of Plutonia. Nice. You're just not the meat meal we're looking for. Let's just hit this one. Alright, so that takes AP. So it feels like physical attacks are doing less this one. Let's see how the magic attacks go. Less. It may just be that this one's tougher. Yep, some still physical attacks. This one just seems to have a higher defense. Again, easier than I expected, though. Well, here's a fun thing that is probably worth talking about on stream. Like, you remember the video I posted on the Discord about the Aliens and True Lies 4K remaster and how they're just AI upscaled? No, I don't. I think the reason that happened with True Lies and Aliens is because James Cameron is lazy and does not actually give a fuck. But no, there was a point Neryl made in that video of like, these could end up being the versions that we're left with on streaming services and such. Like, objectively inferior versions. And it made me think back to, like, the Buffy remasters that are awful. And how they're, like, the only versions you can watch on streaming services. And, like, with the death of physical media, you just can't get the good versions of these things anymore. So I decided to start collecting movies. It's an idea that's just been in my head for quite a while, generally. And when it was at Amber's last year, seeing her big library of movies, like she has a big library of movies, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want that. I want to have that for like the movies that I really enjoy, because like you know what you can't watch on streaming services? Lord of the Rings Extended Trilogy. So I started collecting movies. And one of the movies I've got is The Thing. Because, you know, it's a really fucking movie. Yep, like how they took the Megaton edition. Am I ever going to stream Duke Nukem 3D? Honestly, it's not high on the list. You know who never answered that question, Flame? Teak. Teak never answered. Oh yeah, they're remastering the game, aren't they? That could be interesting. Definitely want to keep an eye on, because if they fix some of the issues that that game had originally, that could be a game really worth doing. But yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing, the movie, genuinely one of my favorite horrors. It's like, it's not even about the monster, it's the lack of trust. Like, the paranoia is the horror. I really like that. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, like, mostly, when I say, like, fix some of the issues that game had. But yeah, let's do the blood test. Okay, you're clean. Turn around, immediately attacks you. No, Flame was fine. It just turned out that, like, he had a piece of beef jerky that was actually the thing in his pocket that he like, just threw into his mouth while you weren't looking. Now, he is the thing. Yeah, if they fix stuff like that, like, I could be really interested in a remaster of the thing. Ultimately, I like it as a non-canon continuation of the thing. Because like, I'm not counting that as canon. I don't want the ending of the thing to be resolved. It's better that way. Oh, we're doing good damage now. Stream looks like it's having a bit of trouble though. I really do need to sort that intermission script. Again, critical on the guaranteed final hit. Anyway. What can we do about... What do we do with a drunk dealer? What do we do with a drunk dealer? What do we do with a drunk dealer? Early in the morning. And up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises early in the morning. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Early in the morning. Way and up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises early in the morning. Put him in the scabbers with the hose pipe. Put him in the scabbers with the... Put him in the scabbers with the hose pipe on him early in the morning. Immediately dropping for... If that has any effect. Oh, it's still garbage, man. I'll turn that back on. Come on. That doesn't look like it yet, see. Yeah, still getting him. Thought for a minute maybe the VPN that I've got is causing issues. This is the first stream I've done since I got the VPN, but no, it's off, didn't change anything, and we were fine before then anyway. That being a bit. We're having such a good time. Alright, well, we'll give it a few minutes. See if it improves. That looked like it was improving for a second there. I'll continue onwards since nothing's really happening while we're going. Doesn't even out in the next 10 minutes. Really, if it doesn't even out in the next 5 minutes, call it. Which will be a shame. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, another one? Yeah, you coming in. I'm not going all the way out there for you. Well, McNeil. Who's been asked this weekend? Yeah, I saw you post about it yesterday, Teak, on your Discord, that you tried streaming One Piece and Twitch was giving you trouble, but YouTube was fine. It sucks. It's irritating as well, because like, we were doing so well for like an hour. We'll see. Do this fight, and if it doesn't even out by the time we're done, we'll just head back to the save point and call it. If you're able to still see anything, though. Flame, in response to your question about Sin Reloaded, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Night Dive will work out whatever the issue is with it, and we will get a release of it, because I would love to go through a Night Dive remaster of Sin. The Sin's a cool game. Genuinely fun, interesting game. Honestly though, like, every time an announcement comes out of like what Night Dive's working on next, it's always really cool. And it's been like a little while, pretty much since I started following Night Dive, of like, cool, every time they announce something, it's something I want to see. It's like, oh, Dark Forces remaster. Great. I've already streamed Dark Forces, so it's not as amazing to me as it would have been, like, the year before. But absolutely, modern re-release, a modern version of Dark Forces for more people to play. Great, fantastic, I bought it. The Turok games remastered, fantastic, awesome. Sin Reloaded if it ever comes out, yes. And then that the news that Mir posted on the Discord yesterday, I think, of like, oh yeah, Killing Time. It was like, goddamn, I was not thinking of it at that specific moment. I can't really even say I wasn't thinking of it, because I had thought of like, I'd like to play Killing Time. But like, yeah, no, I want to do Killing Time. I'm gonna buy that. Well, we beat the boss and the situation hasn't improved, so... guess we're just heading back. But yeah, I'm hopeful that Night Dive will eventually do some of the other stuff that I know that I want, like Dark Forces 2. If they put Dark Forces 2 playable on modern systems, and it comes with Mysteries of the Sith, and it's playable and it works, that's a day one purchase. No One Lives Forever is another big one. Like, if they do that, absolutely all over that. Like, we know they want to. We know they want to be able to do One Lives Forever. What else is there from that era? Like, you would have thought Kingpin. But Kingpin got a remaster, and it was awful. And chances are it's not going to get another remaster that actually remaster anytime soon. Soldier of Fortune, maybe, but the licensing there might be an issue. But given how crazy and out of nowhere some of the Night Dive remasters have been, like, they could turn around and say, like, oh, hey, 007 Nightfire remaster. And I'd be like, ooh. Like, I could believe that they could somehow get that. And I would be all over it. Night Dive's genuinely real. Always looking forward to seeing more from Night Dive. Is the Thing Night Dive remaster? Check. It is. Oh, there you go. So yeah, who would have expected the Thing remastered? Doesn't have a release date. Oh. But yeah, who'd have ever thought the Thing would get a remaster? So Night Dive could conceivably announce any. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that too. And I guess that's going to do it for us for today. Come back after 2 weeks away, like, let's get back and let's do some streaming. Twitch is like, no. Nope. I want to thank everybody who turned out anyway. Do very much appreciate this. Thank you all for watching. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Panda, Flame, Henry, Clem, Teak, Ninja. Thank you all for joining me and keeping me company. Chat is always the best part of the stream. I am off this week, so I'm hoping to do some more streaming. See how that goes. See if Twitch will let it happen. Yeah. We do. In the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. And take care. Catch you next time, guys. Bye.